Mindfulness in a relationship begins with a simple but powerful intention to be genuinely present with the person you love. In today's world, presence is becoming rare. We live surrounded by noise, digital alerts, workplace pressures, deadlines, mental to-do lists, and constant overstimulation. Yet the irony is that relationships don't require more grand gestures. They require more moments of sincere attention. Mindfulness is the antidote to emotional distance. When you practice it, you shift from merely existing beside your partner to truly connecting with them. It asks you to slow down enough to notice the tone of their voice, the expression on their face, the subtle emotion behind their words. So often we listen just to reply, to defend, or to move the conversation forward. But mindful listening is different. It's the choice to listen to understand. When your partner speaks, you let their words land. You allow silence. You observe the feeling beneath the surface. This is how people feel seen, and feeling seen is one of the deepest human needs in a relationship. Mindfulness also affects the way we react during moments of tension. When emotions run high, our instinct is often to protect ourselves, raising our voice, shutting down, or jumping to conclusions. But mindfulness creates a small pause between emotion and reaction. In that pause, you regain clarity. You can choose curiosity instead of defensiveness. You can choose compassion instead of anger. You can choose connection instead of withdrawal. This doesn't mean ignoring hurt feelings or pretending everything is fine. It simply means responding with intention rather than impulse. Over time, these mindful moments of restraint and understanding create a sense of safety in the relationship. You both learn that it's possible to disagree without damaging each other. You learn that vulnerability won't be used as a weapon. You learn that love can stay steady even when emotions rise. Another important part of mindfulness is noticing the small details that often get overlooked when life becomes routine. The way your partner laughs, the effort they put into something for the family, the exhaustion in their eyes at the end of a long day. These tiny observations become acts of appreciation. You might say, "I noticed how much you handled today. I appreciate you." Or, "You seemed a little overwhelmed earlier. Is there anything you want to talk about?" These small acknowledgements carry tremendous emotional weight. They remind your partner that you are not taking them for granted, that their presence and their efforts matter to you. When appreciation is expressed regularly, the relationship becomes a space of warmth instead of criticism, validation instead of pressure. Mindfulness also invites you to be aware of your own emotional landscape. Many conflicts grow not because one partner is wrong, but because one or both aren't aware of the stress, fear, or insecurity they're carrying internally. When you pause to check in with yourself, why am I feeling irritated? Is this really about my partner or something else? You prevent unnecessary conflict. Self-awareness helps you communicate more clearly, express needs more gently, and show up more authentically. Your partner benefits from your clarity, but you benefit too because you're no longer acting on autopilot. Ultimately, mindfulness nurtures connection by honoring presence. It transforms everyday interactions into opportunities to deepen your bond. It says, "I'm here with you, not distracted, not distant, not halfway, fully here." When partners practice mindfulness consistently, they create a relationship where each person feels valued and understood. And when people feel consistently understood, trust grows, vulnerability grows, love grows. Mindfulness becomes the quiet force that holds everything together, turning ordinary moments into meaningful ones and giving the relationship the emotional intimacy it needs to last. In every relationship, people tend to remember the milestones, the anniversaries, the trips, the celebrations. But what truly strengthens a bond are the countless small moments that fill the spaces in between. These moments often seem insignificant at the time, yet they are the threads that weave the emotional fabric of a partnership. When we say small moments matter most, it refers to the simple daily actions that quietly communicate love, attention, and care. Big gestures may create memories, but it is the subtle consistency of mindful behaviors that creates security. The way you greet your partner when they walk through the door, the way you pause to really listen when they talk about their day, the way you offer reassurance without being asked, all of these become emotional nourishment. Healthy relationships don't rely on occasional intensity, they rely on persistent warmth. Consider how easily life's pace pulls us away from intimacy. We wake up thinking about responsibilities, rush through routines, and sometimes only realize at night that we barely connected with the person beside us. Yet, even on the busiest days, meaningful connection can happen in seconds. A gentle touch on the shoulder, a warm smile, a small check in like, "How are you holding up today?" These moments build closeness. They show your partner that no matter how hectic life becomes, they are still seen and valued. When these little gestures happen consistently, they create a sense of emotional reliability. Your partner comes to trust not only your love, but the way you show it daily. The power of small moments is also reflected in the way we respond emotionally. Sometimes a relationship is strengthened not during moments of harmony, but during tiny moments of tension. A split second of patience, a soft tone of voice instead of a harsh one, a brief pause to breathe before reacting. These may seem minor, but they shape the emotional climate of the relationship. When one person chooses kindness in a moment that could have escalated, it creates a ripple effect. It signals safety, which encourages openness. It says, "I care about how I treat you even when I'm upset." Over time, these choices help reduce conflict, not because disagreements disappear, but because the approach to them becomes more respectful and compassionate. Another often overlooked small moment is appreciation. It doesn't have to be elaborate. A quick thank you for something routine, a compliment on something your partner puts effort into, or a simple acknowledgement of their strengths. These expressions of gratitude accumulate. Humans naturally desire to feel valued, and when gratitude is woven into everyday interactions, the emotional bond becomes stronger. Even something as small as saying, "I noticed you were tired today, and I appreciate everything you still managed to do," can leave a lasting emotional imprint. These acknowledgements validate your partner's efforts and help them feel recognized rather than invisible. Small moments matter in positive rituals as well. A morning hug, a shared cup of tea, a nightly goodnight kiss, or a weekly walk. These routines become anchors in the relationship. They may not require much time, but they create predictability, comfort, and a sense of belonging. Rituals become the emotional signature of the relationship, unique to the two of you. They remind both partners that love is continuous, not occasional. What makes small moments so powerful is their cumulative effect. One moment of care may brighten a day. Many moments of care build a foundation. One moment of patience may soothe a conflict. Many moments of patience build trust. One moment of appreciation may lift a mood. Many moments of appreciation build emotional security. The truth is, relationships thrive when partners feel consistently cared for, not just when they're swept off their feet. In the end, small moments matter most because they reflect investment, presence, and intention. They show that love is not reserved for special occasions. It is alive in the everyday interactions that build comfort, safety, and closeness. While big gestures create excitement, it is the small daily acts of kindness and connection that create lasting love. Management in a relationship may not sound romantic, but it is one of the strongest predictors of long term stability. It involves the practical, everyday actions that keep a partnership functioning smoothly, especially when life gets demanding. At its core, management is about shared responsibility responsibility for communication, for emotional regulation, for decision making, and for maintaining the balance that allows both partners to thrive. It recognizes that love alone is not enough. A relationship also needs structure, cooperation, and consistent effort. People sometimes imagine that great relationships just work, as if compatibility automatically guarantees harmony. But the truth is that even the most compatible couples must manage their partnership intentionally. This means organizing responsibilities, handling conflict thoughtfully, and showing up with accountability. One aspect of effective relationship management is the ability to communicate needs clearly and respectfully. Many misunderstandings arise not from a lack of love, but from assumptions and unspoken expectations. Partners may believe the other should already know what they want, how they feel, or what they need. But no matter how close two people are, they cannot read minds. Managing a relationship means making communication a habit, expressing concerns before they build into resentment, sharing needs without fear, and speaking with honesty instead of hoping to be understood by guessing. When communication becomes part of the daily routine, issues become easier to address, and the emotional environment feels more stable. Conflict management is another essential component. Every couple, without exception, faces disagreements. The difference between a healthy and unhealthy relationship lies not in the presence of conflict, but in how it is handled. Management means learning how to argue constructively instead of destructively. It means focusing on solutions rather than blame, understanding rather than winning, and staying connected even when emotions rise. Small management strategies, taking breaks during heated moments, using I statements instead of accusations, or revisiting the conversation when both partners are calm can prevent arguments from growing into emotional wounds. These skills don't appear overnight, they grow through practice and commitment. Dividing responsibilities is also an important part of relationship management. Whether the responsibilities involve household tasks, finances, childcare, or emotional labor, a relationship works best when the load feels shared. Resentment often builds quietly when one person feels they are carrying a disproportionate amount of work, whether physical or emotional. Managing a relationship means checking in regularly about how tasks are distributed, ensuring that no one feels overwhelmed or taken for granted. It also means recognizing that fairness doesn't always mean equality. Responsibilities may shift depending on circumstances, energy levels, or personal strengths. Flexibility is key, and adjustments should be made through mutual understanding rather than silent frustration. Time management plays a quiet but important role as well. Relationships require intentional time time to talk, time to reconnect, time to nurture intimacy. Without purposeful time management, partners can drift into routines that prioritize everything except each other. This is where planning becomes essential. Scheduling date nights, agreeing on shared activities, or simply creating daily check in moments can keep the relationship from slipping into neglect. These planned moments don't diminish spontaneity. Instead, they ensure that connection remains a priority even in the midst of busy lives. Managing emotional energy is equally important. Both partners must recognize when stress, fatigue, or external pressures are affecting their behavior toward each other. A relationship thrives when both individuals take responsibility not only for what they say, but for the emotional state they bring into interactions. This level of self management helps prevent unnecessary conflicts and promotes a calmer, more supportive environment. Ultimately, relationship management creates predictability, and predictability creates safety. When each partner knows they can rely on the other, whether in communication, responsibilities, or emotional presence, they feel more secure. And when people feel secure, they engage with more openness, gentleness, and affection. Management is not about rules or rigidity. It is about creating a stable foundation that allows love to flourish. It transforms a relationship from something that merely survives into something that grows with intention, cooperation, and shared purpose. Relationships often carry an unspoken expectation that love should make everything easy, but real love is not about perfection, it is about partnership. When two people come together, they bring different habits, histories, and emotional patterns. It is unrealistic to expect constant harmony, flawless communication, or ideal behavior. Instead, what truly sustains a relationship is the mindset of teamwork, the willingness to support each other, adapt, compromise, and face challenges together. When couples embrace teamwork over perfection, they free themselves from unrealistic standards and create space for genuine connection. They understand that mistakes will happen, misunderstandings will arise, and emotions will sometimes overflow, but none of these moments define the relationship. What defines it is how they navigate those moments as a unit. Perfectionism in a relationship often shows up in subtle ways. One partner may expect the other to always say the right thing, react calmly, or meet expectations without needing reminders. Another may place unrealistic pressure on themselves to always be composed, capable, or emotionally available. But perfection is fragile. When a mistake occurs, it can feel like a failure instead of a normal human moment. This creates tension and disappointment. Teamwork, on the other hand, embraces imperfection. It allows partners to say, I messed up, and still feel loved. It encourages forgiveness, patience, and growth. When people know they can be imperfect and still trusted, they feel safe enough to be authentic instead of guarded. Teamwork becomes especially important when challenges arise. Every relationship encounters moments of stress, financial pressure, family issues, time constraints, or emotional fatigue. In these times, partners who operate as a team view the situation as a shared problem rather than something to handle alone. They say, how can we get through this together? Rather than, you're making things difficult, or this is all on me. This shift in mindset is powerful. It reduces blame and increases unity. It builds resilience because the couple learns they have the ability to weather difficulties side by side. Even small acts of teamwork, helping with tasks, offering emotional support, or stepping in when the other is overwhelmed, strengthen the partnership. Compromise is another essential part of teamwork. It doesn't mean giving up personal needs. It means finding solutions that respect both individuals. In relationships built on teamwork, compromise is not seen as losing. It is seen as investing in the long-term well-being of the partnership. When both partners adjust, listen, and collaborate on decisions, the relationship becomes more balanced. Each person feels valued because their needs are taken into account, and they are willing to meet their partner halfway because the relationship feels fair. Another key aspect of teamwork is recognizing strengths and weaknesses, not as flaws, but as complementary qualities. One partner may be better at planning while the other excels at emotional support. One may be more organized while the other brings spontaneity and warmth. Instead of criticizing differences, couples who function as a team appreciate how these strengths enhance the relationship. They don't demand each other to be everything. They allow each other to be themselves. They work with their differences rather than against them. Encouragement also plays a major role. Partners who act as teammates uplift each other. They celebrate accomplishments, support goals, and provide reassurance during self-doubt. Encouragement fuels motivation and fosters confidence. It transforms the relationship into a safe space where both individuals feel empowered to grow. When people feel supported, they naturally invest more love, energy, and commitment into the relationship. Ultimately, choosing teamwork over perfection creates a foundation of connection, trust, and mutual respect. It allows the relationship to breathe, evolve, and strengthen with time. Instead of focusing on mistakes, partners pay attention to progress. Instead of striving to impress each other, they strive to understand each other. This mindset reminds them that they are on the same side, working toward the same future. In the end, great relationships are not built by perfect people. They are built by imperfect people who refuse to give up on each other. Meaning, in a relationship is the invisible thread that holds everything together. It goes beyond routines, responsibilities, and day to day interactions. Meaning is the emotional depth that makes a relationship feel rich, purposeful, and uniquely yours. It is what transforms two people from simply living side by side into partners who share a life with intention. Meaning shows up in the shared dreams you create, the rituals you build, the values you uphold together, and the stories you write as a couple. When partners cultivate meaning, they give their relationship a sense of identity, a why behind their commitment. Without meaning, a relationship can function, but it rarely thrives. With meaning, even ordinary moments become experiences of connection. One of the ways meaning strengthens a relationship is through shared purpose. When two people feel they are walking toward the same horizon, they feel united. This shared purpose doesn't always need to be something grand or life changing. It can be as simple as creating a peaceful home, raising a loving family, supporting each other's growth, or cultivating joy together. What matters is that both partners feel their lives intertwine in a way that makes sense to them. When couples have clear shared values, kindness, loyalty, ambition, creativity, or adventure, they make decisions more harmoniously. Their shared purpose becomes a compass that guides how they communicate, plan, and support each other. Meaning also lives in rituals, both big and small. Rituals create emotional structure and predictability, which deepen connection. A morning coffee shared before the day starts, a weekly date night, an evening walk, a special phrase or inside joke. These regular habits become symbolic. They remind partners, this is ours, this is who we are. Even the act of celebrating anniversaries, creating traditions during holidays, or marking important milestones can enrich the relationship. Rituals don't need to be elaborate. Their power lies in consistency and emotional significance. They form the heartbeat of the relationship, rhythmic and grounding. Another essential component of meaning is emotional storytelling, the way partners make sense of their past and envision their future. Couples who reflect positively on shared experiences, even the challenging ones, tend to feel more bonded. When partners say things like, every struggle made us stronger, or we've built something beautiful together, they reinforce a narrative of resilience and unity. This shared story becomes a source of comfort during difficult times. It reminds them that they have overcome obstacles before and can do so again. It also strengthens their sense of identity as a team. Meaning deepens when partners nurture each other's growth. A relationship becomes more fulfilling when each person supports the other's dreams, passions, and personal development. When you encourage your partner, celebrate their progress, and show genuine interest in what excites them, you invest in a shared future filled with purpose. The relationship evolves into a place of inspiration rather than restriction. Both individuals feel they can grow without losing the bond between them. In fact, they grow because of it. This mutual support creates a sense of meaning by making each partner's life feel fuller and more connected. Connection in meaningful relationships also comes from vulnerability. When partners feel safe enough to share fears, hopes, insecurities, and desires, they create a deeper emotional intimacy. Vulnerability transforms a relationship from something functional into something profound. When someone feels fully seen and accepted, the relationship becomes a place of emotional refuge. Over time, these shared vulnerabilities accumulate into a strong bond, a trust that sustains the relationship through uncertainty. Ultimately, meaning is the emotional glue that makes a relationship last. It keeps love alive, not just as a feeling, but as an ongoing choice. It reminds partners why they began their journey and why they continue to walk it together. Meaning turns love into legacy, routine into ritual,